Stefanos Tsitsipas has one of the best serves in the world. He's in the top 10 ATP Tour serve statistics. His best two shots are his serve and his forehand. However, his serve is quite unorthodox. So the first thing that Stefanos does that's quite unorthodox is moving the front foot very close to the racket drop. So as the racket is about to drop, Stefanos slightly moves that front foot. Another player that moved the front foot was Nicolas Almagro. While both Almagro and Tsitsipas don't end up foot faulting, they also don't have a racket drop leak. This doesn't matter so much. However, at the recreational level, often players, when they move their front foot, they end up foot faulting. Or more importantly, when they move the front foot close to the racket drop, and then once that front foot sets, it is then when they start to bend. Often the racket already starts going into the racket drop, and then they start to unload, and players end up with a huge racket drop leak as a result of moving the front foot too late in the service motion. The best thing to do is not to move the front foot at all throughout any moment in the service motion, whether you have a platform stance or a pinpoint stance. A while back I made a video on how to build your serve from scratch, and I briefly mentioned that Tsitsipas has kick serve characteristics on his flat serve. And in today's video I'm going to explain in depth why this is the case. So the most optimal way to toss the ball on the flat, the slice, and the kick serve is going to be 12 o'clock. However, it is not wrong to toss the ball at 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock. As you're analyzing your serve, you're going to wait until the racket reaches the trophy face, and you're going to draw a line right through the middle of your body. You don't want to draw that line through the middle of your body in the beginning portion of your serve, because you might be moving your body based on your stance or other factors. And now you're going to follow the ball as you toss it. If that ball drifts towards the left of that line, you are around the 11 o'clock area. If the ball goes right through the center line, you are at 12 o'clock. If the ball stays towards the right of that line, you are at 1 o'clock. When it comes to your flat and your slice serve, you want to utilize torso rotation. And you also want to make contact to the right side of your head if you happen to be right-handed. You don't want that contact to be right on top of your head. When it comes to the kick serve, it's going to be completely different, and you are not going to rotate into the contact. You're going to stay sideways at the moment of contact, and the contact is going to be established right above your head. So here's what happens with the toss. Let's start with the kick serve. When you toss the ball at 12 o'clock, since you're staying sideways, it's going to be very comfortable to make the contact right on top of your head. You can also throw the ball to 11 o'clock, and because you're not rotating forward, it's not going to be that hard to bend backwards and reach a ball that's tossed at 11 o'clock. So on the kick serve, the acceptable range for the toss is 12 o'clock to 11 o'clock. When it comes to your flat and your slice serve, you're going to rotate into the contact, and the ball can be tossed either at 12 o'clock or at 1 o'clock. When you make contact at 12 o'clock, the body will be slightly bent towards the side as you make contact, because, as I already said, you don't want to make contact right on top of your head. You want to make contact slightly to the right side of your head. When you toss the ball at 1 o'clock, the contact on the right side of your head will happen naturally. However, if you toss the ball at 11 o'clock and attempt either a flat serve or a slice serve, because you are rotating into the contact, you're going to have to severely bend your body in order to make contact to the right side of your head. Here we have a picture of Jerry hitting a flat serve on a 1 o'clock toss. You can see that his body is somewhat straight. Here we have a picture of Jan-Lennart Struff, who hit a flat serve off a 12 o'clock toss. You can see that his body is slightly curved towards the left in order to make that contact to the right side of his head. Tsitsipas, on the other hand, has a tendency, especially on the deuce side, to let his toss drift to 11 o'clock. This, of course, is no problem on his kick serve. He has a phenomenal kick serve, but he also has a good flat serve and a good slice serve. So how in the world can Tsitsipas hit a flat serve from 11 o'clock? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because he's able to bend his body severely out of the way and make that contact to the right side of his head. If you take a look at these three pictures between Jerry, Struff, and Tsitsipas, you can see the amount of curvature in the body. You want to pay attention to the fact that all three players have rotated into the contact. So the more the toss is positioned towards 1 o'clock, the straighter the body will be. The more the toss is positioned towards 11 o'clock, the more curved the body will be at the moment of contact. So naturally, because Tsitsipas often makes contact at 11 o'clock when he flattens his serve out, he will lose balance as he lands in the court. His left foot will often be pointed towards the side, and when that back foot comes around, both of his feet are going to be pointing towards the side of the court. Now, Tsitsipas is a phenomenal athlete. He quickly gets out of this position and is ready for the next shot. So here's the reason why I don't recommend that players toss the ball at 11 and hit a flat serve or even a slice serve, for the simple reason that when you rotate your torso into the contact, it's going to be very difficult to bend your body like Tsitsipas does. So what happens often with players is they make contact on the wrong side of the head and are unable to deliver a true flat serve. Also, generally, when you make contact on the wrong side of your head or even on top of your head, on a flat serve, you are going to lose a tremendous amount of power because the body is in the way of the swing path. However, if you are able to bend your body in mid-air like Tsitsipas and make contact on the right side of your head and deliver a flat bomb, by all means continue doing so. The one advantage of an 11 o'clock toss on a flat serve is that you can fake out your opponent. It looks like a kick toss and you're able to flatten the ball out from here. Whether Tsitsipas is doing this intentionally or not, I have no idea. To be fair, I'm not cherry picking footage. I have seen Tsitsipas also throw the ball at 12 o'clock, especially when he's serving to the outside. Interestingly, even when he throws that ball at 12 o'clock, he has a similar position of the upper body. So it is plausible that Tsitsipas has a preference for this severe bending of the body at the moment of contact. It is just something that he's used to. He's built muscle memory that way. Now you might be thinking this is completely wrong and is being robbed of power, but you know who else has a very similar serve action? It's Ben Shelton. Of course, stylistically, there are huge differences between the Tsitsipas serve and the Shelton serve, but just like Tsitsipas, Shelton often, as a lefty, tosses the ball to 1 o'clock, which is a righty's 11 o'clock. And when Ben flattens the ball out, his body is severely bent to the right and he's able to make the contact to the left of his head. And he's able to deliver 140-mile-an-hour serves with that severe body bend. To be fair, just like Tsitsipas, I've also seen Shelton toss the ball at 12 o'clock. So whether this is a deliberate thing that these players are doing or not, I'm not sure, but I am certain that these are two unbelievable athletes able to bend their body in such a way in midair that most players are not going to be able to do. And in fact, if they throw the ball at 11 o'clock and try to flatten the ball out, they're going to end up with a lot of problems on their serve. So remember, when it comes to your kick, you want to stay sideways at the moment of contact. The acceptable toss range is 11 to 12 o'clock. When it comes to your flat and your slice serve, you want to rotate into the contact, and the acceptable toss range is 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Like I said, if you're a freak of nature and can flatten the ball out at 11, by all means, continue doing so. You might be able to trick a lot of players out.